when you're trying to communicate these kind of ideas to a culture, let's say to kind of society that doesn't really know much about film, or they don't think, oh, I'm watching a film from this guy, they're just watching a film with action.
Yeah.
How can you make this universal?
Did you hear that at the back? How can you make this universal?
That's the point. In general, any kind of idea, drama or...
Yeah, I mean, this is, as I said at the beginning, I'm absolutely surprised that there are as many of you in here this afternoon. So the aim is not to try and communicate to lots of people. You know, it's not starting from the audience. I know this is not what you're saying exactly, but it's not trying to say, how can I get a message across to as many people as possible? It's about how do I capture an accuracy of feeling. It's like when Van Gogh was in Saint-Rémy in the sanitarium where he was, and he looked out at those cornfields, and he painted the same cornfield again and again and again. Why was he doing that? Not because he wanted to get a message out, it's because he had to. There was something that he was full of feeling that he needed to render, and that's the same impulse that I had. I'm not saying that my work is anywhere even close. However, the question of universal is a good one in a way, because even though I'm using references to range of stuff, poetry and films and that, I'm talking about things I mentioned earlier, like solitude, like aging, etc., which are universal. And so that's the only chance a film like this has of speaking to people who don't share a cultural reference with me, who haven't read Virginia Woolf, who don't know the poetry of Frank O'Hara. That if they hear a phrase, "I want to be as completely alive as the vulgar," hopefully you don't need to know Frank O'Hara to know that is interesting. You know, the vulgarity of being alive is an interesting thought. So hopefully that'll chime with people, but you don't know. And it's always a surprise. You know, some people, whoosh, and some people, like first this showed in Karlovy Film Festival, international print, and the reviewer from a magazine called IndieWire asked for a meeting with me afterwards, and she came up and she talked to me about her life. She had had a problem in her life that she was pondering, and she'd been pondering for ages, and she said, "I solved it during your film." It wasn't that my film solved her life. I didn't sort of cure her like in some kind of weird experience, but she solved it during watching the film, and that's